Hey, everybody.
Hello.
This is going to be so good tonight. Can everybody hear me? All right. I think Steph is on, and she's going to have to unmute herself. Stephanie Doss is on with us tonight.
Hi.
Hey, why can't I see you?
Hi, friend.
Okay, there we go. Speaker view.
Got it, yeah.
Okay. You look so pretty. I look really
Hi, so do you. I love your glasses.
Oh, yeah, I can't see without them. I have lots of notes and lots of questions, and I'm super excited to have you on with us tonight.
Me too.
This is a friend of mine, you guys, that, God brings us all together in this business, and she's a person that I really admire and wonder, and I'm going to ask her this in a minute, but why would she do this? Because she was a corporate attorney making 6 figures a year. She's got 3 little girls, just had a baby about a year ago, and she's super busy. And so tonight our topic is going to be, we're going to learn about Steph and her story, but we're also Steph and I are going to talk about like some of the excuses we hear and like what we would say to those excuses, and like maybe a couple ideas to help you guys really boom the end of your month. So I'm just going to let you start, Steph, by just telling about yourself and your story.
Yeah. Okay. So I just got off I just had a Zoom right before this with a girl on my team that's promoting to triple. So we were just talking about this because she's an attorney too. And so it's funny because we didn't know each other prior to the business, but the business kind of brought us together. And so we have really similar stories. So I will just share quickly with you guys. So I joined this business in May of 2012. May 1st of 2012 was my enrollment date. And I was a customer first. So my friend Connie had posted in April, actually, that she had started selling these wraps, and I had just had a baby. And so I thought, oh, yeah, I need some of that in my life. And I knew that Connie had had triplets, and she was saying, gosh, I needed a tummy tuck before I tried these wraps, and they totally changed my body. I've been using them for like a year now and just decided to jump in and sell them. So I had no interest in selling. I didn't even think about that part of it. I didn't even know that was really like a thing that I could do. So I tried the wraps and I really liked them. And Connie had sent me a text a couple of weeks later. And she just said, how are you liking your wraps? And I said, oh, I like them. I really like them. I can't wait until I get to do some more. And then she sent me this text, and I always say this 7 words changed my whole life. I didn't know it at the time, but they totally did. And she just shot me a text back and said, you should sell these wraps with me. And, had she never said that, I never would have thought about it. This was not something I ever saw for myself, you guys. I never wanted to sell anything. I never wanted to I didn't even know it was called direct sales or network marketing. I didn't know any of those terms, but I didn't want anything to do with that kind of stuff. I didn't want to invite people to parties or pressure people. I didn't like when people did that to me. So that was like, I do not want any part of that. But for some reason, I know it was totally God, but I just had a different feeling about this. And I thought, I have some friends that are new moms. And if I could even just, get them to buy some products, I know they'll like them. I could get some free stuff, and it doesn't have to be that big of a deal. And so I enrolled, and regretted it the next day. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. This is so dumb. I'm going back to maternity leave in 6 weeks. I have a 6-week-old baby. I have a 2-year-old. I have a husband that works all the time. And, you know, he had a job in corporate America. I'm going back to this like 60-hour a week, you know, job with a Fortune 100 company. I didn't even know there were Fortune 100 companies, but, and, you know, I had a crazy busy life. But here's what comes along with all of that, you guys. So from the outside looking in, I looked like all buttoned up and perfect. You know, we had a nice house, we had nice cars. We weren't like, you know, no one thought we were wealthy, but we were totally, you know, making, you know, a good living from what people could see. But what they didn't see on the inside was all the debt that came along with that. And so pursuing the American dream is not cheap. And we did everything that we were asked to do. We went to college. My husband went to college. I went to college. I went to law school. I graduated from law school. I took the bar. I passed the bar the first time I took it. I was the president of my law school class. Like, we did everything that anybody ever asked of us. And at the end of it, we got a big, nice present of about $200,000 in education debt, just education debt, not, you know, car payments and mortgages, and, you know, just our student loans were about $200,000. And the weight of that kept me up at night. I didn't know how we were ever, first of all, going to pay that off. I didn't know how we were going to save for our daughter's college education. I just didn't know how we were ever going to get past where we were. And so I was totally petrified because our daycare costs were going to increase by $600 when I went back to work. And so Mason was going to cost an additional $600. And I thought that was my number. So I thought if I could make enough money to just eat that up, oh my gosh, that would be huge for us. And so I won't say that I took it super seriously, but I'm competitive. And so I was like, I'm going to do this and see kind of where this gets me. And I worked really hard, especially during those last 6 weeks of maternity leave. And I went diamond 4 months after I signed up. And so I got the diamond bonus, which was $10,000 at that time. And that was the only bonus the company offered. There was no ruby bonus. There was no emerald bonus. There was no double bonus. There was no other bonus.
These people are lucky, aren't they?
Yeah.
$1,000 ruby bonus? What the heck?
I can't handle it. So that was the only bonus. And if you didn't get that, or if you were already diamond when they announced that bonus, I mean, that was it. And nobody cared. I mean, that was amazing. Right. So I got that bonus. And then I thought, okay, well, I mean, I did that. So let me just see what I can do if I just keep doing what I've been doing. And then 5 months after that, I went double. There was no bonus, but there was a big fat paycheck attached to that. And then I went 4 months after that, I went triple diamond. And I did get a $25,000 bonus with that. And, you know, it sounds crazy, you guys, but it was then that I started really taking this seriously. I thought, you know, maybe this can really legit be something that I do for my career. I was still working full-time as an attorney, 100% working full-time. So I don't want people, I see a lot of people that will say things to myself or other friends that, you know, have retired and are doing works full-time. Well, yeah, it's easy for you guys to say that because, you know, you do this full-time, you don't have a job. So I just want you guys to know, to clear it up, all the way up until Presidential Diamond. And a year after I went Presidential Diamond, I worked full-time as a corporate attorney, full-time, 60 plus hours a week, very demanding job, very cutthroat, I was always under the microscope because I'm a woman and I was like one of the only women. And so everyone was always kind of looking for me to screw up and, you know, drop the ball. So I worked full-time. At one point I was pregnant, working full-time, doing It Works full-time as a Presidential Diamond. So people want to use the situation that I'm in now to give me an excuse as to why I was able to do all the things that I did before, but they can't, because that's not applicable. I worked the entire time. I was married. I was busy. I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a brand new baby. So I just want to tell you guys that if you're feeling stretched and at the end of your rope and it seems crazy and it seems chaotic, it's never not going to, right? But the best thing about it now is that the week before I went to go have my daughter, Lane, my third baby, I got to tell my job I'm not coming back after maternity leave. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh, my life has been so breezy and beautiful ever since. Like there are days when I'm like, I need to just go back to work full time, because this is nonsense. Like, are you kidding me with these kids and this business, and there's people pulling at me all the time? But you know what? It's mine. It's mine. And I get to decide when, and I get to decide who, and I get to decide how, and I get to decide where. And I don't have to ask anybody permission how to live my life, right? So I don't have to ask anybody permission to keep my kids home when they're sick. And I don't have to ask anybody permission when we go on vacation. And I don't have to ask anyone permission if I just don't feel like doing something at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like I can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning if I want, and that's fine because it's mine and I get to make the decisions about it. So that's just a little bit of my story. I find a lot of times that people think that when people are successful or reach a certain level in the company that it's been easy, and that there's some reason that they were able to do it, and they had something either given to them or they had an easier road or things were just a lot easier back then. You guys, I swear to you, the day that I signed, we went into a wrap shortage. Okay, I went diamond during a wrap shortage. It was taking my loyal customers 6 to 8 weeks to get their first auto ship of wraps.
Yeah, we had no wraps for wrap parties back then. I went triple diamond during that time.
Yeah.
I went diamond, double, and triple during that time. And it's all in your head, the excuses, and that I just wanted to ask you something like, did you ever worry about what people thought about you? Okay, I'm this really successful attorney. Now I'm going to sell these crazy wraps and give it up, because I know a lot of people let that stop them in this business, whether you're an attorney or just a stay-at-home mom. They're embarrassed for some reason to share this opportunity and the products.
Yes, I 100% was. I will tell you too, just very authentic. There are still days when I get a little fearful, about this. And this is how I combat it. Okay. So in the beginning, I just decided that, well, if I'm going to do this, then I better be the most successful attorney turned rap girl ever, because I'm not going to allow them to win. Right? So they can make fun of me in my mind. I have no idea. But, that's what I was thinking in my mind. So if they're going to do that, then I'm at least going to blow this thing out of the water. So if I'm going to be nervous about this, then I'm just going to go all in. And if they think that they were annoyed before, holy moly, they're going to but the way that I did it, you guys, I'll be real honest. There are people that post about it works that annoy me, because it's so spammy and addy and not thoughtful, and there's no time and effort. There's no energy put into the way that they're sharing their life, and they're sharing their business, and they're sharing the joy, and they're sharing the results. There's nothing personal about it, and so there's no way that you can connect to it, and it annoys me too. And so what I do now, if you guys see me on social media and you see me posting a lot, it seems like, oh my gosh, she's doing a lot of big major posts. Those are the times that I'm the most scared. So I just battle it. I did a post last week last weekend about my ring and the story surrounding my ring. And that was really hard for me. It was really hard for me to admit. It took me a year to even admit that that story was true, that we had sold my wedding ring at one point, when we had a super unexpected financial crisis happen during my maternity leave, before that I signed with It Works. And so we sold my wedding ring. And that's really humbling, to share that, because here I am, this attorney, and we were making great money, but we were hemorrhaging. We had 3 mortgages, literally. We had our real mortgage, our student loan mortgage, and our daycare mortgage every single month, plus other, bills that had to be paid. And so when I'm bold like that, you guys, I'm telling you right now, it's the most freeing experience, because there's so many people that will reach out to you either privately or directly by commenting, and they'll let you know, like, you don't have any idea how much this helped me, or going through a similar struggle, and it helps me so much to know that I'm not alone in this, or so be bold. I'm telling you right now, those people that you're worried about criticizing you, the worst thing that you can do is be flaky about it, because that's totally going to prove them right. And here's the deal, you guys. Most people aren't even seeing what you're posting, so it's so dumb not to post. They're not even seeing it. They may see 1 or 2 a week. We think everybody sees everything that we're posting. They are not. And so if you're limiting yourself, my gosh, you're just putting limits on your own business. You're telling God, limit me, because I'm not sure I can do it. Limit me. I don't know, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do this. Be bold. If you're going to do this and you're going to face some criticism or some eye rolls or whatever, and guess what? That happens in whatever you want to do. When I decided I wanted to go to law school, do you know how many people told me that I was stupid for doing that, or that I wasn't smart enough, or that it was, a dumb decision, that I just needed to go to work and not incur any more student debt? So many people. You can do anything in life, and somebody's going to figure out a way to turn it into a negative, because they're unhappy. They're coming from a negative place, and anything that you're doing that threatens what they think, is acceptable, or what they would be willing to do in their life, anything that threatens that, people want you to do well, but they don't want you to do better than them. They wish you well until it comes up on maybe you doing a little bit better than them. And then, it's hold up. I don't want to see that. I don't want to feel that, because that says something about me. That makes me feel bad about me. That makes me feel like I'm not doing enough in my life. So be bold. Be the most successful person they know, and it'll shut them up real quick.
What did you miss anything with your kids when you were going through some of these promotions? Because I know that events for me and you, especially, I see you at every event. You see me at every event. I have 7 children at home. You've got 3 tiny kids at home. I hear that a lot, like, oh, little Susie has a ballet recital. I can't miss that. Or Jimmy has a baseball game. Like, I can't miss. But I think I want your take on it. I mean, I know we feel exactly the same way about the short-term versus our long-term goals, and how that could change our family, and just maybe the guilt of it, the mom guilt.
And the mom guilt is real and true, and you're never not going to feel it, but you have to be able to put it in its place. It's lies, and it's truly, the enemy speaking that into you, because that is a place where he knows that he can get you, right? So I'll just say this about sacrificing time with my kids. I do try to limit it as much as I possibly can. When my girls are here and when we're together, I try 100% to be present with them, not all the time. And I'll be real honest with you, when it's a promotion month, or when I have big things going on at the end of the month, I'm on my phone a lot. But you know what? If I was an attorney still working in corporate America, you guys, I would be gone all the time, like literally all the time. And the thing is this, and I heard this at conference 2 years ago, and it really has shaped and molded everything that I've done from this point on. You can't let your why for joining this business. So I joined this business to alleviate my family from this crushing debt. That was it. I can't let that why then be the reason I turn around and say why I can't do this, or why I can't be here, why I can't go to this event, why I can't go to this wrap party, why I can't be on this team call, why I can't do this Zoom, because that's my kid's bath time, or, oh, we're at Taekwondo at that time, or this, that, and the other. You're going to have to shift some things around. Just like if you were at a job and your boss said, hey, I need you to come in at 5. You wouldn't say to him, oh, I'm sorry, it's my kid's Taekwondo. No, you would figure out a way to make it work. And I'll tell you this about like corporate events and times when I have to be away, like overnight-ish. My oldest daughter has severe separation anxiety, like hardcore. I can't call her when I'm away. I can't FaceTime her when I'm away, because it literally sets her into a downward spiral. And it is really extremely difficult to walk away from a 6-year-old that is on the verge of a panic attack because her mom is leaving for a few days to go to Florida, or to go to Dallas, or to go to, wherever. But here's the deal. It's not good for her for me to enable that behavior. And it's not good for me as an example to them to show them that, when things get tough or when it's hard, then you just cave and you turn right back around and you go home. No, I want Sailor to know, you know what, mommy loves you enough that I am going to go, and I am going to have to be away from you guys, which is hard on me, and I know it's hard on you, but we have to sacrifice to get the things that we deserve in life, and they're going to be okay. They're with people that love them. They're with people that care for them. They are watching me to see how they are supposed to walk this journey, and I want to be a good example of that. And the minute that you start letting your kids dictate what you do in your life, that's a dangerous path. So you can't let your kids be your excuse. You just can't. And there are definitely things that I'm 100% protective of, and that I don't let this business interfere with on any level. But everything else, just like any other job that I would be required to do, I have to be flexible. And so do they. And it teaches them, my daughter asked me, last year, I'll never forget this. And it was just a turning point for me. She looked at me one night. I was putting her to bed, and I had to go back and do some work. And, for the rest of the night, I had some team promoting, and she looked at me and she said, Mommy, and this is when I was still working full time. And she said, Mommy, why do you work so hard? And I don't know where this came from. I know God spoke it into me, but I looked at her straight in her face and I said, honey, so you don't have to. And she looked at me and she said that was good enough for her. And off we went. And, that's truly why I do. I don't want my daughters to have to, do all the things that I've had to do in life to be successful. I want to be able to give them opportunities, like to graduate from college with no debt, and to be able to have a job that they love, even if it doesn't pay very much money, because we can supplement that for them. If my daughter wants to be a social worker, I want her to be able to be a social worker, even though they get paid $27,000 a year. I want them to live and love and have a labor of love, regardless of the paycheck attached to it, because I want to work hard enough to be able to provide for them if the job that they have, they choose, doesn't. And so you have to keep all of that in mind. We are building legacies for our family. This isn't just about, March of 2016. This is about March of 2036.
And I think when you take that, this is just a temporary gig out of your head, and you, like you and I, this is our legacy we're leaving for our children. I think that changes things. I know how I feel, I know how you feel too, but when we're around Pam and Mike and each other, is that worth that overnight trip away from our children? With you and Channing, with me and Nick. Like, I know I had so many aha moments at Dallas boot camp, but the feeling that it gives you, just that connection with everybody. Just like tell us about that just for a second, like how you feel like.
Well, and it makes you feel bigger than something that's just you, right? So when I was at Dow, and you guys, I've been to events. I go to several events every single year, corporate events, and then, local meetings and all of that kind of stuff. And here's the thing, the people that I want to be around, successful people. So the most successful people that I know in this business are at those events. So I want to be where they are, even if I don't know them. There are several people that, are hugely successful with the company that I don't know, or we're not friendly, or we're not, we just don't know one another yet. But I want to hear what they have to say, and I want to, have aha moments from them, and I want to learn how to be the best at my business, just like at any regular, if I owned my own dry cleaning business, I'd be going to dry cleaning conventions to learn the newest. My uncle's a dentist. He goes to, conventions and trainings and education seminars to learn the best way to be the best dentist that he can be. And that's what these are. They're an education and inspiration. And so I love being able, like when Kim Touchton was on stage talking about, how her husband was away in the military. I hadn't heard that story from Kim before. I've heard her speak so many times, and I just love her to death, but I'd never heard her talk about that her husband had zero clue what was going on with them financially. And he didn't know how scared she was and how she was crying literally every night because he's, out fighting for our country overseas, deployed, and, how that touched me. And I've been in this business for 4 years. So if somebody new in that audience, y'all, 90% of the people in that audience, it was their first corporate event. Think about hearing that for the first time from a top 10 money earner about where she was sitting, 3 years ago, scared to death. Her husband's deployed. She's all alone. She has this baby. She doesn't know what she's going to do. And she dug them out of that hole while he was deployed. Like, you're never going to have those experiences unless you put yourself in those experiences. You can watch the video, you can do all of that, but it's never going to touch you of being there in that moment. And my whole outlook on this business, 100% did a 180-degree turn. I was the person that was like, people that go to that stuff are weird. They wear weird feather boas and stuff. They're kooky. They're kooks. It's like a circus. Like, I'm not doing that. That's so weird. And for some reason, I got talked into going to Dallas boot camp, March of 2013. And I heard some people speak on the stage that night. And it wouldn't have been the people that I would have thought, but it changed my whole outlook on what I was doing this for. I was like, I want that freedom. If my parents get sick, I want to be able to sit in the hospital room with my mom for 50 days, 60 days, 90 days, however long it takes to get her healthy, and never one time have to worry about asking someone if I could be there. That clicked for me. And I never would have heard that story had I not been at an event. So I can't tell you how important it is. It changed my whole outlook. I was a double diamond, but I didn't fully understand why I was doing it until I went to that event.
So many people, and I can see their faces on this Zoom, are stuck. Some of them only sign customers. They can't get a distributor to save their life. Some of them sign distributors that go nowhere. Some of them, what would you say to that, to somebody who just can't get a distributor? They say they can't get a distributor. What do you do to get distributors? I know what I do.
Okay, so the first thing that I do is I stop saying I can't get any distributors. And you guys, there have been months where I haven't signed any distributors.
I'm there right now. That's
okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world. That's just what you're going to have seasons, and there are going to be months where people literally are like coming out of the woodwork and you're like, what? I don't even ever remember talking to you. They've been watching you. And they reach back out, and those are, it evens out, right? So there's going to be months where you get less than you deserve, and there's going to be months where you get more than you deserve, and that's okay, and everything's going to even out. But you have to stop talking about what you can't do, what you don't do, what's not happening, what's hard, what's frustrating. You've got to stop putting energy towards that, because it does absolutely zero to build any confidence in you, any confidence in your team, any confidence in your business. And that is the energy that you are showing everyone out in the outside world. Even if you think you're not, that energy is what's permeating everything that you're doing with your team, with your potentials, with your family, with your friends. Everyone can sense that there's like an angst about you. There's a nervousness, there's an anxiety. And so when I have those moments, and I have them, it's getting, it's the 23rd. I've signed 2 distributors. I've signed 4 loyal customers, but I still haven't completed my steps, and it's March, you guys. So, March, that's when this momentum and the bonuses and people are, going crazy for this business. And I've still signed 2 distributors, which is amazing, but I need to complete my steps. If I'm not showing my team that, that's on me. And so there is a nervousness that comes along with that. And so I will tell you what I do, that this isn't going to be like a tangible, oh, here's what I say and here's my message. But I read a book, and it really talked about self-talk and crying out into the universe and to God, and setting your mind and setting your heart and setting your energy on all the things that you want to be, and who you are at your core when you're not scared. And so what I did, and what I continue to do every day, is, I don't know if you guys can see these, but I have all of these sticky notes all over my desk. There's probably, 30 of them. So like that one says, I am disciplined. And I'll just read some of these. I won't read all of them, but like every day I sit down at this desk when I sit down to work my business, and I have my focused, intentional time, and I start and I say, I am forgiven. I am victorious. I am secure. I am beautiful. I'm equipped. I am free. I am courageous. I am confident. I am well able. And I have all of these things that I speak life into myself and into my business. And it changes my entire mindset about who I am, who I'm presenting to the world, who I'm presenting to my team, who I'm presenting to my family, my It Works family, my family. My girls will hear me saying these sometimes, and I'll hear Sailor say, Mason, mommy's doing her IMs. And so they'll come in and they'll listen to me. And it truly is about focusing your mind on what you want, what you're capable of, what you want your future to look like, what you want your team to look like, and then going out and pursuing those things. Because when you're thinking negative things and then you're speaking them, you can't really control what happens in your head. Like, I can't control, being scared about, oh my gosh, I still need to sign another distributor. Like, I'm going to have moments of worry, but I'm not going to speak that. I'm going to say, today, I am going to help someone change their whole life. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know who, but it's going to happen. And so when I go out into the world and I put myself out into the world with that energy and that positivity, positive things happen. But when all you're focused on and all you're speaking and saying to your upline and saying to your team and saying, in your team page is all the things that aren't happening, those are going to be the things that continue to not happen. And I truly believe that. That
was really good. And you helped me today because I had a little, we all have moments. We all do. Whether you're, a top earner or just getting started, here's my steps. I'll show you guys my steps. You probably, I don't know if y'all can see them, but there's not one person on here for me, Jen Keller, Presidential Diamond, for the whole month. But guess what? I am not letting that get in the way. I'm continuing to reach out to 20, 30 people a day. I'm continuing to coach my team when they need it. I'm helping them, move their customers and distributors, and my team's still growing. So I have to just like I said, get my mind out of the right now and get it towards my future. And,
Yep.
for me, I go into my closet and I pray and I say, God, I don't know what you're doing with me right now, but do something, like I'm bummed out or whatever. And he brings me right out of it, and it always seems like he leads me to someone, like you just said, that needs help or that needs advice or that needs something, because it's not about me. This whole life is about me.
It's so much bigger than you guys understand. It's so much bigger than I understand. Truly, Connie didn't know what she was doing the day that she sent me that text message, but she truly was throwing me a lifeline. And if you guys can just look at the opportunity that you've been blessed with through this business, this is unlike anything that you'll ever be associated with in your life. Unlike anything. This is a movement. This is a gift. This is a ministry that we are offering to people. And if you can truly just look at it as if you're offering someone a lifeline, offering them hope, offering them a way to dig themselves out of a financial hole, out of a, personal setback, whether they've moved and they feel isolated, whether they've gone through a divorce and they feel like they lost so many of their friends and family through that, whether they've gone through, sickness or illness or a death in their family. You have zero idea what people are battling, but if you know what you're offering people is a lifeline, them walking away from it at that point, then you don't take it personally. You still know what you have to offer. It's just a timing issue. And that's what I always say. You're not going to know how things are going to happen. You're not going to know who they're going to happen with. You guys, my diamond chart, there's 24 people on a diamond chart. I have 2 people still on my team that were on my diamond chart. Two. They didn't quit, and they're both triple diamond now. One of them is going presidential diamond this month. So you just can't allow yourself to even have quitting or taking a break or stepping away even be an option. And it's not fair to do that. People have trusted you enough to join you in this team when they knew zero about what they were getting themselves into, and they trusted that you were going to lead them and guide them and help them. And quitting on your business is quitting on them. And I just could never do that. People have literally given me their last $99 in the world, and I don't take that lightly. So whatever I'm going through or whatever personal struggles or setbacks, or if I'm stuck, and I've been stuck, you guys, I've been presidential diamond for it'll be 2 years at the end of this month. And that's okay. That's okay. If it takes me 10 years to go ambassador, okay.
Okay, that's still $585, $85,000 a year. Hello.
Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to pursue this like I'm going ambassador tomorrow, every single day. Whenever God decides it's the right time, then that's when it's the right time. But it's never going to be for lack of me working and doing all the things that I know that I'm supposed to do.
Some other excuses are, I'm too busy. My husband travels. I think the answers to the excuses are all the same, though. I've been out too long. I'm trying to get restarted. I don't know what to do. I think a lot of people in this business, and we talked about this, or they talked about this in Dallas Boot Camp, get to Ruby and they stop for some reason. They put the brakes on. I don't know what the deal is, but I know you've had excuses. I've got a bunch of kids. My husband traveled. I went, presidential diamond while Nick was working and away from the home, and I was homeschooling my kids. So we all have stuff. We've got sick spouses. We've got this, that, and the other. What do you say to people who have those excuses? I know what I would say, and I know it's all in your head, really.
Well, I think it's important to understand that, it's really a fear issue. And I think a lot of times people are more scared of success than they are of failure, because people are sometimes get conditioned to the fact of like, it's okay to start and stop things. It's okay to be flaky about things like that because they've done that. That's been kind of their pattern their whole life. But here's what I will say is that, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh, here we go. So you're going to work hard in life regardless of what you're doing. You're either going to work hard, going to a job that either you don't like or that doesn't pay well enough, or that is a 45-minute commute from your home or keeps you away from your family on the weekends. You're going to work hard for somebody. So I want you to think about all of the people in your life that you work hard for that aren't you. Your boss, if you're working in your home, if you're a stay-at-home parent, think about all the sacrifices that you make to be able to do that. Maybe you can't have a new car. Maybe you can't go on a vacation. You're giving up all of these things because you have made a decision that you're going to work hard in your home. But what I'm saying is, take that work that you give to someone else to help them build their dreams, help them build their business, help them put money in their kids' college funds, and give yourself some of that. You're going to have to make sacrifices. There's no one that's successful in any area of life that hasn't sacrificed, that hasn't had to get creative. I was talking to Allie Antonacci about, she was just talking to me like a month or so ago about when she went the ambassador, and she was saying, like, I was a terrible wife, I was a terrible mother that month. I just knew that's what it was going to be for that month, and it was worth it, and I don't regret it. And at one point she was wanting to talk to a potential in Germany over Skype. So she set her alarm for like 4:00 in the morning, went downstairs in her basement and Skyped with this German potential that she had because of the time difference. And her husband came downstairs and was like, "What are you doing? Like, are you crazy? It's 4:00 in the morning." She's like, "I just did what I had to do. And I didn't care what it was. And I didn't think about how crazy it was." There are really, honestly, if you break down your work week, I can find the graphic about it, but there's about 37 hours a week that are totally expendable. After we sleep, after we eat, after we work, after we travel back and forth, after we do all the things that we need to do, we have about 37 hours every week that we get to choose what we do. And whether that comes in a 15-minute increment, or whether that comes in a 2-hour block, or whether that means you're getting up at 5:00 instead of 6:00, is it worth it to be able to do that for a year, do that for 2 years, and then never have to, get that creative again? If I'm getting up at 5:00 in the morning right now, y'all, it's for something very dedicated for my business. Like that doesn't have to be a part of my life, but it did for a while. When I had new babies, I was working on 2 and 3 hours sleep a night, and that's just what you do. You sacrifice because the situation that you're in calls for that sacrifice. I'm telling you guys right now, this business is never easier to be successful in than March, April, May. So you're going to get to November and you're going to be like, I'm an idiot. Like, that was when I should have been pulling all-nighters and doing, back-to-back Zooms and back. You guys, today has been the craziest day. I have been back-to-back. I have been scheduled to the minute today. And that's okay, because that's what you do. That's what you do to be successful. But this company doesn't offer these bonuses at this time of year because it's just on a whim. Like, this is researched, and, this is the time to do it. You guys don't understand that the momentum that comes when you promote to your team. I've never had a better month for my personal business, whether that be having people join my team or customers, than the month after I promoted. So when people see, oh my gosh, like, she's really doing something with this, like, maybe I need to look into this more. She just got $1,000 bonus, and I know she only signed up with them like maybe a couple months back. Like, that's how it works. That momentum and that energy, when you promote, it trickles down into your team. It trickles down into, your sidelines teams. It's infectious. Don't miss it. Don't miss it making excuses why you couldn't make it work. You have 37 hours in every single week that you can find time to work hard for yourself. And this is what I've been saying to my team and some other people that have had me, speak to their teams is, I don't know what you guys were doing last month at the end of February when all the promotions started rolling in, but I would be, I could probably guarantee there were a large majority of you, because not everybody promotes in February, that weren't promoting. And so you were looking on Facebook, you were looking on social media, you were looking in your team pages, and you're seeing these announcements, and you're feeling kind of bad. You're feeling kind of down. You're doubting yourself. It seems a little bit when you see people doing what you want to be doing, when you see other people achieving what you don't think is quite possible for you to achieve, it's hard. And so what I encourage you to do, and what I challenge you to do, is do something this month that is going to make you proud of yourself on March 31st. Do something in these last 8 days that is going to give you something to dance with your kids in the living room, at 10 o'clock at night, and do a victory dance and squeal and scream and have that moment. Give yourself that moment. You deserve that moment. I'm telling you that you will never regret the hard work that you put in and invest into your business, because it's yours. And that's something no one can ever take away from you. And that's something that you're going to show your kids, and you're going to be an example to your kids, and you're going to be an example to yourself and your team. Your team needs to see you promote. Your team needs to see you do it so they know that they can do it. And that's the challenge to you guys, is to really dig in these last 8 days. There are miracles that can happen in 8 days, okay? Especially at the end of March, in any given time with It Works. If we're at the end of March, there's some miracles that are happening. Give yourself something that be proud of yourself on next Thursday. Be really proud of yourself. Give yourself something to be proud of, and that your family and your kids and your team and your friends can be proud of too. You'll never, ever, ever regret the sacrifices that you made to have that feeling.
I think, Vicki Haggerty, will you mute yourself, please? I don't want to mute, because I don't want to mute you, Steph. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute you, but we got to unmute ourselves. Hold on.
Okay. I got it.
Okay, me too. What happened? Okay. I still see her. Do you see her on the screen?
No, I see you.
Okay, I see you now. Okay, so 8 days. I want Ruby from start to finish in 11. So I have people that are like this close to Diamond and Emerald, like one distributor away. Totally doable, you guys. I mean, totally achievable to go from distributor to Ruby in the next 8 days. Totally.
Oh, the team Zoom that I was just on before I jumped on with you guys, that I did a special Zoom for the people that they want on their dream team. It was for their potentials. She's 7 distributors away from triple. I 100% know she's going to do it. There's no doubt in my mind. We're just acting as if it's happening, and I know it will happen. We talked about it last night, and I mean, there's not been 1 second of today or last night that I had an ounce of doubt that oh yeah, we're going to sign him. So that was my goal tonight. I was like, okay, so by the end of this Zoom that I'm going to do with your potentials tonight, we're going to sign at least 4 tonight, get them signed. And then we've got 3 more. We're going to have boxes filled by Friday. That's our goal. And we're just acting yeah, duh. We can totally do that. And that's the mindset that you have to have. And that's the mindset that I've always had when I promoted. And crazy things happen when you decide they're going to happen. Every person I've ever known that has made a decision at the beginning of the month that they were going to go ambassador or go presidential or go to one of the bigger kind of hairier promotions, they just decided all right, this is it. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm doing it. I remember talking to Melissa Yardley last year when she promoted to ambassador in July, and she's like, I just made the decision that this was the month. And she's not a huge recruiter. She's not somebody that, does, way above her steps every month. And that month she signed like 20 distributors, and she's like, I have no idea how. People just started coming, out of the woodwork. I hadn't talked to them. I didn't ever remember them, meeting them. And she was like, it truly was because I made a decision that it was happening. And then God was like, okay, and that's what I was going back to. Like, you guys have to change your mind about what your future is with this company, what your month end is with this company. Get it down to the day, get it down to the minute. What's the end of this day going to look like? You're going to, something positive you're going to take a positive step forward with your business by the end of the night. You just have to make that decision that it's going to happen, and then do the work that you have to do to make that happen.
And Ashley Sinclair said something like, when you were talking, remember how she said people would come to her and say, well, I don't know how to get a distributor. I'm Ruby, but I can't get any more people. I can't. She said, you've already done it. If y'all already have had even one customer and one distributor, do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And so that clicked with me for some reason when she said that. It also clicked with me when Joel said, he said 90% of people in this business, in any network marketing business, don't ever make $500. Like, total.
Cumulative.
The whole time they're in it.
Yeah.
I know so many people, I'm looking at your faces right now. I know a lot of you have made $500, whether it's wrap cash, fast start bonuses. And so that is a huge blessing. And for those people who quit, because someone had a question on here, what do you do with people who quit? Bye. I mean, move on. You do.
I waste 0 minutes on people that quit. And I also waste 0 minutes on people that haven't maybe officially quit, but that aren't, actively trying to do something positive with their business. I get people that will say, well, I don't, get any help for my upline. And I always ask questions like, well, have you reached out to them and asked them for help? No. Have you logged into and done our Working Wednesday Zooms? No, that's during my kids' bath time. Have you listened to corporate calls? No, I'm not sure where to find the information. Have you done our training system that we have on our team page? Well, no, I don't know how to access the files for my phone. So if every single answer that you have for me is a reason that you can't do what it takes to be successful, then there's the reason that you're not successful. It's not my doing. Everybody started at the same spot. We all paid the same $99 and got the same kit. And we all started with 0 distributors and 0 customers. And just like that, it was such a good point. You've already done it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just do all the things that you did in the beginning to get that first customer. And if that was because you were excited and you were positive, then that's why it happened. And you got to get back there. You got to get back into that mental headspace of, like, remember how excited you were when you got your first customer. Go back to that and think about that. I remember exactly who my first customer was, Tiffany. And I thought I had conquered the world. I was like, people really want to buy stuff from me. Like, they really like me. And you have to have that energy. If you want to be successful, go back to doing all the things that when you were having the most fun in this business, what were you doing? Take 30 days and only do those things and see what happens to your business.
And I think too, you probably have, steps that you tell your people, just like you said, to get started. I do also. And one of the cheapest, actually free things that they can do is post on social media. Why do people refuse to do it? And like you said earlier, this is such a good point. No, not everyone sees what we do. We can't just one time ago, oh, nobody wants these wraps, so I'm done posting. No, you have to post 5 or 6 times a day about different things. It's not all salesy. It's not all pushy. It's not all join my team. It's like you said earlier, connect with people from your heart. Don't copy and paste everything. Change things to make them your own.
Yeah. Well, and I always tell people this when they say oh, well, it doesn't work. That doesn't work. So I always say, why does McDonald's still have commercials every day? Why? It's not because you guys don't know what McDonald's is. It's not because you guys don't know what McDonald's has. you probably know where at least 3 McDonald's are located from your house right now. It's because you have to stay in front of people. And because McDonald's knows at some point I'm going to see one of those commercials and I'm going to be like, oh man, I haven't had an apple pie from McDonald's for like 2 years. And had I not seen that commercial, I never would have thought about that. But I guarantee you the next time I drive past the McDonald's, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to get an apple pie or whatever it is.
Shamrock shake.
Yeah, they're offering a new coffee, or they're offering a new this or that. If McDonald's and Apple and Nike and Target and Walmart still have commercials on TV that they pay millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars for every single year, you can post about your wraps on social media for free.
FREE. Can we say that again? But people refuse to do it. I mean, even people on my own team, they think they're posting too much, posting more than once a day, when obviously you and I got where we're at by doing that and working primarily from our phones and our laptops from home.
Yeah, 100%.
We're at. So do you have anything that you told your team tonight that that you could just end us off with? I'm sorry, I had a squirrel moment. I was like, squirrel.
No, you're fine.
That happens. That just about how everybody just overcomplicates this. Everyone thinks they have to know everything. Everybody thinks they have to have a kit to get started. Like, just end us off with the simplicity of this. Like, it's so simple.
Really, the minute that I started making it more complex and I started thinking about all the things that I needed to do to fancy this up and to take it to the next level was when my business really took steps backward, because it's not duplicatable. It's not something that your team is going to see and think, oh, I can do that same thing. And another thing that you guys have to stop doing, and I'm only saying this because I know it's what I did for a year, is thinking that once you achieve a certain level, or if you go Ruby or if you go Emerald or Diamond, then it's your team's turn now to do that. So you'll promote like, oh, I've done all the work, now you guys get to do it. Nope, not how it works. And I did it for a year. I sat and I was like, no, I have worked so hard for the last 2 years. I'm not doing this. They can do it now. And I just had this very entitled, negative attitude, and I didn't recruit. And I was just like, nope, it's their turn. If I did it, they can do it. And I'm not going to. No, I had to be an example for them. And the minute that I started turning that around and putting the responsibility on myself to change whatever it was that was holding me back, which was my attitude, things started to turn around and people started to feel like, you know, I was in this with them. And I can't run the race for you, but I sure as heck can run right next to you. I can't train for this marathon for you and then you are at the finish line, you know, you're at the start line on race day. That's not going to work, but I'll run it with you. I just think it's so important for you guys to understand that it's not whether or not this business works or not. This business clearly works. You have to work this business, and however that looks for you is how it looks for you. But you can't start out working and being successful in anything in life with all the reasons that you can't do it. You're going to have to sacrifice in life. You might as well sacrifice for yourself and your family, not someone else's. And I'm telling you right now, you guys have got to get plugged in the next 3 months. This is my 4th spring season. I never work harder than I do from February until June. Like, it just is what it is. And my family knows now, and it just is what it is. And you'll never regret it. I'll tell you that much. You will never regret it. And follow corporate's lead. If they're pumped up and they're excited about something and they're having huge promotions and doubling promotions, there's a reason. Follow that momentum. Don't fight against it. You guys are on the top. You know, when surfers, you know, they do all that work and they paddle out and they're exhausted and they finally get up, you know, and they're at the top of the wave. You know, this is where we are right now. We're at the top of the wave, you know, and we're getting to surf. You still got to balance. You still got to watch. You still got to do your part. But corporate is totally helping us by being the wave. that wave, you know, do what you have to do. Like I said, I mean, that's my biggest thing. I want you guys to be proud of yourself on March 31st, not watching other people be proud of themselves. Give yourself that moment. Truly think about how that would feel to have this unexpected promotion or this unexpected bonus that you thought was impossible happen. How much pride would that give you? How much pride would that give your team? How many people would you be able to bless by you promoting? That means they get to promote. It's not just about you. It's all intertwined into you, your family, you know, all the reasons that you started this business in the first place. I'm assuming you started because you wanted to be successful. Don't just let that go because it gets hard. It's going to be hard. It's never not going to be hard to get something so worthwhile. If it was easy, it wouldn't be so, you know, big. It wouldn't be a big deal because everybody would do it. It's like, you know, oh, I get to go to kindergarten. Well, that's the law. Everybody has to go to kindergarten. Like, oh no, I graduated from high school. I graduated from college. That's where the pride comes in. You know, give yourself that moment. Give yourself that moment of, you know, dancing in the living room with your kids on Thursday night, you know, waking them up out of bed and telling them, Mommy did it, you know, or your husband or your best friend or your mom or whomever. Give yourself that moment. You deserve that moment, but you have to put the work in to get it. It doesn't just fall from the sky. You know, you got to put the work in. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable and do the things that are necessary to do, you know, and if this were your job and if this for your career and your boss was telling you to post on social media 6 times a day about his business, you'd be doing it. You'd be doing it. And you wouldn't care what your friends thought because you'd be like, well, I have to do this or I'm going to get fired. Well, guess what? Same thing applies. You know, same thing applies.
And there's money involved. More money than a boss is going to give you. You're going to get $2,000. You're going to get $10,000. You're going to get $20,000. You're going to get
stinking more. You guys can do this. You guys can 100% do this. I'm nothing special. Jen is nothing special. We just decided that we were going to do it, and we did it.
Thank you, Steph, for taking the time away from your sweet family to be on.
You're welcome.
And thank you for believing in me always. And just
I always believe in you. You can do anything.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys. We'll see you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Go kill it.